What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And right now, with mandatory minicamp officially in the books and the New England Patriots heading into their month-long summer break before training camp opens, the roster moves coming out of Foxborough this week deserve a full breakdown because there is more happening here than most people realize. Between official transactions, contract situations resolving themselves, and a roster that is now essentially complete heading into the most important season of Drake May's young career, this is the moment to take stock of everything New England has built. So let us get into every single detail right now. Let us start with the official transactions that the team confirmed this week, because these moves tell you a lot about where this roster stands as it heads into the summer break. New England signed defensive tackle Travis Shaw as a rookie free agent out of Texas, adding another body to a defensive line rotation that head coach Mike Vrabel has been carefully managing all offseason. They also added rookie free agents linebacker Xavier Holmes out of James Madison and safety Peter Manuma out of Hawaii, continuing the pattern we have seen from this front office of finding athletic, developmental talent from programs that do not always get the national spotlight. And in a move that reflects the kind of roster management every team goes through this time of year, the Patriots released long snapper Nico Lalos to make room for these additions. These might not be the flashy headline-grabbing moves that A.J. Brown represented, but they are part of the foundation building that every championship roster needs heading into training camp. Now here is where things get genuinely exciting, because the offensive line situation just received a massive piece of clarity that Patriots fans have been waiting on. New England officially announced the signing of their 2026 first-round draft pick, offensive tackle Caleb Lomu out of Utah. Lomu joining the roster on a signed contract means this offensive line group, which already features Will Campbell and Jared Wilson as elite athletic pieces up front, now has its full complement of talent locked in and ready to compete for starting reps when training camp begins. Lomu was a player New England traded up to acquire in the first round, specifically because of his elite physical tools, and getting him under contract before the summer break gives this offensive line the continuity it needs heading into what is going to be one of the most important seasons in recent franchise history. And speaking of important signings, the Patriots also locked in third-round tight end Eli Raridon out of Notre Dame along with seventh-round linebacker Quintavious Hutchins, bringing the total number of signed draft picks to 5 out of 9 total selections from this year's class. Raridon's signing carries extra significance given the news that surfaced this week regarding tight end Julian Hill, who was officially placed on injured reserve with what has been described as a season-ending injury. That is a tough break for a player who spent his first 3 seasons developing into a genuine all-around tight end in Miami before signing with New England this offseason specifically to round out this position group. With Hill now out for the year, Raridon's development just became significantly more important, and the earlier reporting about the Patriots potentially pursuing a tight end with a strong Josh McDaniels connection via trade now makes a whole lot more sense. This front office does not like leaving depth questions unanswered, especially at a position as important to McDaniels' scheme as tight end. The activation news out of Foxborough this week also deserves real attention, because 2 names that matter enormously to this roster's ceiling were officially activated to the 53-man roster from injured reserve: offensive tackle Will Campbell and defensive tackle Milton Williams. Getting Campbell back on the active roster strengthens an offensive line that is already being built into one of the most athletically gifted units in the AFC, and Williams returning to full health is enormous news for a defensive front that signed him to the richest contract in franchise history, specifically because of what he brings as both a pass rusher and a run defender from the interior. Both of these players being fully healthy and on the active roster heading into the summer break is exactly the kind of news that should make Patriots fans feel genuinely optimistic about where this team stands physically as training camp approaches. Now let us address the 2 situations that have dominated headlines for weeks and finally appear to be moving toward resolution. Christian Gonzalez did not attend OTA practices earlier in the spring as he became eligible for a contract extension, but Mike Vrabel said directly before practice on June 2nd that he was anticipating Gonzalez's return that week. And Gonzalez did return, participating in mandatory minicamp alongside every other player on the roster except for one. Vrabel's comments about the situation were notably measured and respectful, saying that the contract is the business and professional side of things, but that he does not want anything to interfere with the personal relationship he has with Gonzalez. That is exactly the kind of leadership tone you want from a head coach navigating a sensitive contract negotiation, keeping the door open, maintaining the relationship, and trusting the front office to get the business side handled appropriately. Ian Rappaport's update from June 4th, where he said there is a good chance a new deal for Gonzalez gets done before the season, remains the most credible read on where this situation stands. The extension is coming. It is just a matter of finalizing the numbers. As for Keishon Boat, his situation has resolved itself in the best possible way for a player who clearly wants to remain part of this organization. After skipping voluntary spring workouts amid all the trade speculation connected to the A.J. Brown acquisition, Boot showed up for mandatory minicamp and addressed the rumors directly, saying he tries to block out the trade talk and that he wants to be in New England for the rest of his career. Coming off a 2025 season where he posted a 33-catch, 551-yard, 6-touchdown line while averaging a career-best 16.7 yards per catch, Boot has the production to make a real case for himself, even with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs now ahead of him on the depth chart. Whether a trade still materializes before the regular season remains an open question given the crowded receiver room, but Boot showing up, competing, and publicly committing to this organization is exactly the kind of professionalism that builds trust with a coaching staff and teammates. The A.J. Brown situation continues to develop in genuinely promising ways as well. Brown practiced with the team just one day after the trade became official on June 1st, suiting up for 4 snaps in team drills and catching a pass from Drake May on June 2nd. The question everyone in New England is watching closely is how Josh McDaniels deploys a player who, by his own admission, had his worst statistical season since 2021 last year in Philadelphia, hauling in 1,003 yards and 7 touchdowns with a career-low 12.9 yards per reception across 15 games. But that down year for Brown came within an offense that was not built around him the way McDaniels' system is designed to feature a true number 1 receiver. The early returns from those first practice reps, combined with the chemistry Brown is building with May in real time, are exactly what this coaching staff needed to see heading into the break. The bottom line as the Patriots head into their summer break is that this roster is in remarkable shape. The draft class is almost entirely signed. Key players are activated and healthy. The Gonzalez extension appears to be trending toward completion. Bout has publicly committed to the organization. And A.J. Brown is already on the field building chemistry with Drake May. Every piece of this offseason puzzle that started with the A.J. Brown trade back on June 1st continues to fall into place, and the Patriots are heading into training camp with a roster that genuinely has championship-level talent at nearly every position. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell because training camp is coming up fast and every single roster battle, every depth chart update, and every practice report is going to matter heading into the 2026 season. Drop a comment below and tell me, which signing or roster move from this week excites you the most heading into the summer? Let me hear it. Like this video, share it with every Patriots fan you know, and I will see you in the very next one. Let us go New England.